Hello, everybody, and welcome to another YouTube video. And this one is going to be entitled Money, Money, Money. It's all about money. Money makes the world go around. Um, Even though we don't want to think that, you know, it's all about money, but it is. And after all, money is just it's just another way energy flows. Because everything is made up of energy, us, and money. Um, so it's just another way. Now, there are some definite problems that is in this economy that we're living in now of 2012 and even before. Um, and it has to do about money and greed and just a accumulation of just people wanting to take and not give, um, and that goes with, and a lot of that is based on fear. Like, for one of the main problems in this economy, wherever you live, I know around here in Manchester, New Hampshire, it is a problem, and I'm sure it's the same problem in other states, and that's the minimum the minimum employment wage is less than it should be. See, prices keep rising, but the wages, they either fall or they don't rise enough to keep up with the rise in prices, and we get a deficit. You have businesses that are closing or that are in bankruptcy. Um, they're struggling to sell their products. Um, they have to sell these products at a higher price, but who's going to buy it when the general pool of money, the average person cannot buy it. So their that decreases their market share. They can't sell to um, a big number of people, and if they can't make if they can't sell enough to pay for their monthly bills, guess what? They go out of business. So we got a problem there. Major problem that I do not see being solved. I have not heard any Democrat at all on how to solve this thing, or any Republican. I don't know if any um, I don't know if any senator or president can actually solve that problem. It has to be business. But then again, business has a whole lot that the government's forcing them to pay per each employee. And so that's also another reason why that businesses are just cutting back on employees. I work in the um, healthcare, um, the healthcare market, and a nursing home, and there are quite a bit of nursing homes in Manchester and New Hampshire. But one of the main things that happened with Obamacare is they cut Medicare. So they don't get as much money that they used to from the government, and they were depending upon this money to actually pay their bills. So now they can't depend on this money. They have to figure out another way. But also at the same time, things are expensive. It's very expensive to stay in a nursing home because then again, you also have like all the electricity, the cable, and just the employee salaries, and what the what they have to pay for the state and governor, national government. So I don't think, without actually looking at the numbers, um, there's got to be a way to find this online. To find out how much nursing homes pay. Because they're all public companies. There's got to be a way to research that. Maybe finding a stock site or something like that I could take a look at. But anyways, but I think that the price of not just nursing homes but hospitals mostly, the price that they charge, they're not charging for somebody to pay cash. They're charging they're charging for insurance. They're pricing for insurance. So they're setting their prices really high because they're setting their prices really high because they know that the insurance companies will pay that, and it's just inflating. It's dry in here, and it's just inflating the prices of all the different things in healthcare. And that's let alone like the not to mention the what it takes to become a doctor as far as education wise, or a nurse. It's really expensive to go to school to be a doctor or a nurse. It's cheaper to be an LNA. So how do we solve these problems? No one's looking at that. They're all thinking, and this Obamacare does nothing to solve the problems. It's just putting up another insurance there that the taxpayer pays, as if we don't pay enough in taxes already. A lot of people pay a lot in taxes. I'm low income because my wage is low. It used to be high. It got lower, maybe not as low as it was, but still, definitely got a budget. But anyways, to move on, that Obamacare didn't solve the real problem. It's almost like when Congress and politicians put bills into Congress, they have a private agenda that they're trying to put forward, trying to make us, the taxpayers, pay. And it's crazy. We definitely don't need 4 more years of this. The Democrats are probably the worst. The Republicans are okay right now because they're adopting a lot of libertarian principles, and that's where, that's where true governance lies, in the libertarian principles. So the Republicans are probably more in line with how things should be. The Democrats are, way far in left field, somewhere out there on planet Mars, as far as being in touch with, the people I mean, they're not in touch with people at all. They're just trying to put forth certain agendas and just trying to change, and it's obvious. Just read the bills, you know, which doesn't really get reported. Only some bills get reported. Um, but anyways, so that's a problem. And I know hospitals cost much because I recently had to, do a couple emergency room visits. Um, because I definitely have to keep up with, keep in control of what's going on with my health. But without insurance, an emergency room visit for me, $2,000, or a little bit over $2,000. Now, who the hell, pardon my French, but who the hell can actually pay $2,000? Who in this economy has an extra $2,000 to pay for health care? There is a disconnect with those healthcare facilities. Yet you see hospitals just expanding and expanding, expanding, and it just, they're just they're not in touch with, the current economy. It's just not balanced. And I've mentioned it before in videos that there is a certain flow to the economy. And whenever Congress, and government, president, whatever, whenever they play around with the economy, no matter who, Democrat or Republican, whenever they play around with the economy just to try and make it better, they always end up really screwing things up royally instead of just leaving the economy to play. Because there is a symmetry, a balance that goes with economy. Because it's based upon people. The economy is based upon people, their buying needs, their, what they need and what they want. And that's also how good companies rise and bad companies fall. And when a company gets too big, they fall. They have to fall because if they're too big, they're just, it's like these big, huge trees that just suck up all the resources. So all the other smaller trees in the forest they don't have a chance to grow. It's just these big monolith things. And that's why nature has self-correcting mechanisms, lightning strikes and things like that, to get rid of the dead wood, and to, especially some of those big trees, they may not be the healthiest because they're too big. This nonsense of too big to fail. Nothing's too big to fail. I mean, that's where you want to fail, when things are too big. Too big to actually manage and manage in a controlled, logical way. Because like the car companies, I think one or two car companies, if they had failed, if the government had let them fail, there would have been other car companies popping up. But the main problem with that was, the unions, and, inflating wages way beyond what the market can bear. Not in touch with the natural flow with the economy. Because when you have big leaps in the economy, big leaps in the economy, um, this problem. There can't be growth. There has to be a steady growth going up, um, instead of like not balanced. Things are not balanced right now. The economy's not balanced. It has to be balanced. The government's got their fingers too much in there because they're trying to protect us. You know, um, I mean, people in this country have survived worse than what we have now. So, anyways, I mean, that's my discussion on money and the economy. Just everything is just crazy. Gas prices keep going up because there's no competition at all. For the gas company, so they get to control it. Even though there are some one or two countries out there which you don't hear in the media, but when gas prices are going up for everybody else, for these countries, um, they're down. They're down to like $1.50 a gallon because they have a viable, um, another viable source of energy to make a car run. And that's what we don't have. We just rely on this dead, um, this dead energy source. Why not have more nuclear type cars? Hydrogen cars. Even though I think the technology for hydrogen's not there yet. We could have had electrical cars, I don't know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe. I'm not exactly sure about the date, but there was Chrysler. They had the EV1, which was a really simple two-seater sports electrical vehicle. Of course, they were overcharging. They were overcharging how much these cars cost. And so they just secretly try to get rid of them. On one end they were, and there's a story of that. You can take a look. There's probably YouTube video or a video on Netflix where they talk about this story, maybe Hulu, and I'm not exactly sure where that story is, but I've seen the story. It did happen. And that's the other thing too. Cars, okay. Computers, like this laptop that I have right now. It's pretty. It's a dual processor. I ended up buying another laptop because I had to, because the other one was pretty old. It was a IBM ThinkPad, refurbished. It was running XP Pro, and I definitely got the mileage out of that thing. And a couple hard drives. A couple hard drives later, I just ended up having to get another laptop because the equipment, in there just didn't meet the current needs of the internet that we have now. So I got this newer laptop, built-in camera, built-in Wi-Fi, dual processor for $300. It's a compact. It's actually better than my first compact. Man, my first compact laptop was a brick. This thing is, I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable how light they've gotten. But see, how can the technology of laptops and now tablets, how can they get better and cheaper, but cars, they don't necessarily get better, but they get more expensive? Shouldn't the price of cars be going down? Instead of paying $50,000, $60,000 for a brand new car, Shouldn't it be more closer to 5,000? You know, um, it's just, you know, and they wonder why car companies fail and why they're struggling, why there's why there is struggling in the healthcare facilities, hospitals and nursing homes, and and just for those who are looking to get their loved ones into a nursing home, and not just necessarily older people, but people who can't quite go home yet, but they're good enough to come out of the hospital, rehab places. Um, Check out the hospitals really well, and um, look at the kitchens. Look at the kitchens in these healthcare facilities. Because that, you know, the cleanliness of the kitchen, and they're not all clean. Because I've been vaccines on many a nursing home, and I've seen the worst. I've seen the best, and I've seen the worst. So you want to make sure that you check out a nursing home really, really well. You know, and especially around flu season, when people get sick, they blame it on flu, but half the time it's probably food poisoning. You know, just because of the kitchen. And that's just one of the things. Um, so that's just a little heads up there. Check out the nursing homes really well before you go in. And um, if you have a choice to do home care, go with home care. Because there are organizations out there, nurses that come to your home, aides, um, and equipment. And especially if you or someone can also help take care of that person, you would also save a heck of a lot more money too. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents on healthcare. But that's why all these places are struggling, because they've just got too greedy. Car companies, hospitals, nursing homes, um, and all the other businesses, stores and stuff like that. Where they pay you like Walmarts and Targets and whatever, the grocery stores, Hannaford's around here, Stop and Shop, Market Basket, whatever is, and whatever is on the East Coast and the Midwest, your particular stores in your areas, who only pay minimum wage. They're taking in a whole lot of money, with those foods, because people have to eat, you know, um, and yet they charge people minimum wage, or even if it's like $8 or $9, $8 and $9. I mean, in this state we don't have sales tax, and we don't have, I think the biggest thing is our property tax. But all the other taxes, they're pretty minimal, unlike other states. So when you're like $8, $9 an hour, it's still, even in this state, it's still low income. So why are they charging low income? It shouldn't be. Um, no benefits. It's things have got to drastically change. People, and I'm hoping that when we come on the other side, when we come on the other side of this economy, we would have learned a few things. Now, I have not reached 1 million views on any of my videos yet, and it would be nice if this video could actually make 1 million views. So if you are watching this video, do me a favor and share this with at least one person. If every single person at least shared it with one person and watched it, I believe I can get to 1 million views without doing anything stupid, just talking, coming up with solutions to problems, thinking about things with, using my mind to come up with solutions. I mean, it's like no one's coming up with solutions. They're not using their mind. But there are solutions to things. But people just get so tied to what they're doing, their narrow focus, that they just don't see other solutions. They don't try there's no process to try new solutions. And that's how we're going to get out of this economy, is trying new things in business and all that. And also respecting your employees by actually giving them a little bit more money. So, anyways, that's it for the video. It's almost a half an hour. I don't like to go over a half an hour, even though I can. You know, uh, if I had a little bit more, if I had a little bit more going on, I probably would go. Probably would go to an hour. But it's just me talking, doing a little, audio article. You know. So anyways, thank you all for watching me and listening to me, and please comment on the videos. My inbox is open too. I read my emails. I may not always reply to them. Some of them I do. But it's always nice to, get conversations going, get solutions going. And if we can have a party in the comments, just going through solutions, that'd be great. Or if this video can also inspire another video, let me know about it too, you know. And it's another way we can have a conversation. And it's also another way that this video can go to 1 million views. That's my goal. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Stay creative in the magic of life. Thank you.